Welcome to another episode of EnviroConnect Buzz. Here is where we discuss hot environmental topics. Today, your host, Shani Rayburn, and with me, I have Ms. Sally Cho, Environmental Officer at the Department of the Environment. Sally, we'll be talking about the entire phasing out of these single-use plastics. What's your opinion about that entire phase out?
Well, I think the discussion on the phase out is very timely because when you look at comments people are making via Facebook, they're talking a lot about, or have a lot of questions about the phase out. Some people even comment that the department is not doing anything to,
which is entirely wrong,
implement the phase out. And just talking to different people, because like when I go to the shop, people see my logo on my uniform, because sometimes I go to the shop, right? And they would ask, so when are we phasing out plastic bags? When are we phasing out this? And I said, well, it's already started. It's a process. And so a lot of people have different opinions about it. I have a sister. She's not, I don't consider her to be very environmentally friendly. Like, she always look at me because I try to not use a lot of plastics. I made a decision to just buy non-glassware. And I say, I have children. I say, even if they break it,
I'll buy another one.
Yes, just not be upset about it. Just buy another one because it's cheap. Like little balls, they don't cost a lot anyways. And so my sister would look at me and like, why are you wasting your time? And I try to tell her, the importance of it. And there are other people who would see the need to say, spend, phase out my plastics because maybe the glass is healthier. Because not a lot of people actually think that, if I put my plasticware in the microwave where it heats up, maybe that chemical pass to my food and I end up eating that. People don't think about those things, but me being in this field, like I am aware of those issues and I do take those like personal to my heart and I think about my children's health a lot. So I phase out, but like I said, there are a lot of people
they don't think about it. No. Like for me, for lunch especially, I would normally take my food container. Like even for example today, we went to buy birria quesadilla for lunch. And I didn't have my food container. So I told the person that's cooking, I told, it's okay, I don't want it again. So someone else that was with me like, I'll buy it anyway and then you could just take it from me. And so when we bought it, I just told her, okay, you carry the lunch because I don't want to be seen
with it. I hope you
feel
guilty.
I do because I normally take my container. But today, for some strange reason, I forgot. And I know it's something where you have to let it become a habit.
Yes.
With only it becoming a habit, you'll get used to it.
Yes.
Right? So that's why we need people to understand. And of course, the department is doing a lot.
And I mean, even me, I go to the shop and I forget my bag. You're human, but it just takes time and it takes a change in your behavior. And that's important. It's just being consistent with your behavior to try and, phase out for you yourself, right?
Yes, and that's why we have to have people to think about. It's not for the DOE that you stop using these things. It's for your health and for your environment that you live in. So today we'll have Mr. Aldo Cancino, who is an environmental officer here at the Department of the Environment, and he'll be discussing about to us about the single-use plastic phase-out initiative and, of course, the permitting process.
So I hope with him on the show today can answer a lot of people's questions that they have in terms of why we're not seeing any changes with the whole phase out.
Okay, so we'll take a short break, and then when we come back, we'll have Mr. Aldo Cancino, Environmental Officer at the Department of the Environment, discussing about the permitting process and about the single-use plastic phase-out.
Where can I get one of those?
Welcome back. We're here, Mr. Aldo Cancino, Environmental Officer at the Department of the Environment. Welcome, Aldo.
Nice to be invited, Shani.
Okay. Earlier, we were talking about the entire topic about plastics and this phase-out, right? For persons that might not know about the Phase-Out initiative, can you tell us more about that?
Well, sure. the Phaseout initiative is where we're transitioning from the use of plastics and styrofoam products into biodegradable products. I must emphasize that when we're talking about plastics and styrofoam, we're actually looking at a small spectrum of items. So the t-shirt bags, the plastic t-shirt bags, the styrofoam takeout containers, and the plastic disposable containers as well. So it's only those items that we're transitioning into biodegradable products.
Specific items.
Specific items.
Okay. Persons might have thought all the items, because I know persons even thought about garbage bags being phased out, egg trays being phased out.
Yeah, right? No. The reality is that at this point, we're not in a position to phase out all plastics. We do need some plastics. We package some of our products that we export in plastics. And so we had to be very, very specific into what we wanted to target and what we wanted to focus our energies on.
Okay. So because it's targeted to certain items, what does that mean for importers, both small and large scale?
Well, for importers of these items from April 15th of last year, they haven't been able to import any of the items that have been prohibited. These are specifically the plastic t-shirt bags and the styrofoam and the plastic products that I mentioned before. And so we haven't been issuing permits for these. What we have been issuing permits for is for biodegradable products. Okay. And so whether you're small or big, this is the phase out. This is the transition that we're talking about. Yeah.
Okay. How about for persons that may be crossing the border with these items that are prohibited? What happens there?
Well, if it is a prohibited item, the customs will confiscate it. Okay. For the only item that has a limit is the plastic t-shirt. The plastic t-shirt bag, which you can bring 10 of them as your personal effects.
Okay. So I could come across the border, but I could only come with 10. If I come with more than that, customs will
confiscate it.
Okay, and I know earlier you mentioned about a permitting process. Could you walk us through that process for our viewers to understand what they need to go through should they need to apply for a permit?
Yeah, sure. The permitting process for biodegradable products is one where we have developed an application form. You fill out that application form, you submit that along with your copy of the invoice of the items that you want to import. There's a $25 fee that you pay at the treasury. So we're interested in the receipt and a copy of the MSDS. So the technical sheet that outlines the specifications of the product that you want to bring in. So the weight, the height, the depth, and of course, of importance is that the item has to be biodegradable. So that has to be specified in that MSDS. You take that and you email it to us at info@environment.gov.bz, and we will review the application and process accordingly. Now, one of the questions I'm sure you will ask, and let me preempt you with it, is that if you go to the market right now, you will see some items that are biodegradable, and you might say, this doesn't look like biodegradable product. Right. And so one of the things that we've been working on is that we've been developing standards. Right. So we're developing a national standard for biodegradable products. So what this standard will do is it will develop a criteria, a minimum criteria for what we will accept as biodegradable in Belize. For that, we're looking at two specific items, the two most specific items, which is the bio-based content, which has to be 50%, and that the item must degrade within 365 days. So that is really where now you will start to see an impact in the near future. And I say in the near future because we are currently going through a registration process. This registration process will require that the importer register the products. And in registering the product, you will also need to submit something that is very important for us, which is the laboratory conformity testing, meaning that your product has been tested by an independent laboratory, and that it's not only biodegradable, that it has 50% bio-based content, and that it can degrade in 365 days.
Wow.
And that is really where you will see the impact soon. So I know that would have been one of your questions,
that is definitely one of my questions.
And so I wanted to answer before you ask it.
Okay, and I know for persons that are shopping or for persons that need certain items, how would they know that the items that they're buying is biodegradable?
Well, part of the standard speaks to the labeling aspects of it.
Okay.
And we're not, the standards are mimicking and relying on international standards.
Okay.
So we're not reinventing the wheel. And in that not to get too technical, but the item must meet the American standard testing method 6400 or American standard testing method 68, I believe.
Okay.
But these are the reference material, or these are the reference testing that will dictate the biodegradability of the product. And when we finally jump that point, you will have some of these things. We're also discussing with Bureau the possibility of having a label either certified by the Department of Environment or by Belize Bureau of Standards saying this item has been registered and it meets the specifications.
Okay. And I know persons out there and our viewers are probably watching, and you've answered several of my questions that I had. And I know our viewers have questions, so hopefully you answered some of their questions. I know the department is doing so much behind the scene, what people don't see that we're doing, right? So what do you believe are the challenges that the DOE is currently facing with this entire Phaseout initiative?
Well, one of the biggest challenges that we have to do more sessions like this where we provide information about what really this particular Phaseout is.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you rightly said, people are of the impression that all plastics are banned. All plastics are prohibited.
Right.
And really that's farther from the truth. So that is one of the things. The other has obviously been developing the standard. In the ideal world, we would have wanted the standard to be in place at the same time with the legislation. That didn't occur, but we're getting there. And in the interim, this is why you're seeing some of these products that you might ask yourself, is this really biodegradable? And so we had to remember, April 15th of last year, we stopped the importation. So we had to make sure that the item is still biodegradable, and at the same time, we wanted to make sure that we have that standard. And so that has been really a challenge for us. But there's the light at the end of the tunnel, and in the near future, we're hoping that these efforts will be more visible to the public.
And that is what we wanted viewers to know and other persons to know, that we're getting there. We're not giving up. It's just a process and it's taking time, but we're getting there. So thank you for coming on our show. Although we definitely appreciated your view and your information that you had to share with us and our viewers.
Thank you again for having me, and I'm sure that if the public has any questions, we can always make an effort to reach out to you. We have been doing that with the importers and other stakeholders, and we're always open to sharing that information.
Right. I almost forgot. So we had a little giveaway that we wanted our viewers, because I know they were watching our episode. I want them to answer a question, right? So you'll pick a color. I mean, you have to close your eyes. You'll pick a marker, and then we'll ask a question.
No, we're colorblind.
All right. Whatever color you pick is the question that we have, and then we ask the question. The viewers get to answer the question under this episode, and it has to be the correct answer first. Yes, you can.
Okay.
So you get the yellow one. All right. The questions are for our viewers, not for yourself. What 2 factors of biodegradable products do the Belize standards consider to accept it as biodegradable? Then again, we repeat. What 2 factors of biodegradable products do the Belize standards consider to accept it as a biodegradable? So our viewers can answer that question, and let them be the first ones to answer it under this episode, and we'll definitely contact you to give you your prize. So thanks again, Alda, for joining us, and thank you for all the knowledge you have on this topic.
Thank you very much.